Too many people are waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity. But let me tell you the truth. Perfection does not exist. While you're waiting, someone else is failing, learning, and winning. Success doesn't come to the one who waits. It comes to the one who dares to try, who falls down and gets back up, who turns failure into fuel. The road to greatness is not built on flawless steps. It's built on scars, lessons, and resilience. Failure is not the end of the road. It's the starting point of something greater. Most people look at failure as a full stop, a final chapter, but in reality is only the introduction to your story of greatness. Every time you fail, life is handing you a chance to restart with more wisdom, more clarity, and more hunger than you had before. Think about it. If you never failed, you would never know your weaknesses. You would never be forced to stretch yourself, to grow, to push past limits you didn't even know existed. Failure breaks the illusion of comfort and exposes the areas you must improve. And that exposure is exactly what prepares you for success. The greatest achievers didn't get to the top because they avoided failure. They got there because they faced it head on and refused to let it define them. They understood that failure is not a signal to quit, but an invitation to evolve. When you see failure as a beginning, you shift your perspective. Instead of saying, I lost, you start asking, what did I gain? What did I learn? How can I use this to move forward? That mindset changes everything because now you're no longer afraid of falling. You're prepared to rise each time. Failure becomes fuel, not fear. And once you accept that falling down is part of the process, you stop wasting energy on regret and start using that energy on building, improving, and becoming stronger. That's how greatness begins. Not from perfection, but from embracing imperfection and letting failure be the foundation that carries you higher every time you start again. Failure is the greatest teacher because it reveals lessons success can never teach. When everything goes right, you celebrate, you feel good, but you don't grow much. It's only when things fall apart that you are forced to examine your actions, your habits, and your mindset. Failure has a way of putting a mirror in front of you, showing you the truth about where you are and what you need to change. That truth may hurt, but it's necessary. Every mistake points out a weakness. Every setback highlights an area that demands more effort, more focus, more discipline. Instead of running from those lessons, you must embrace them. The people who grow the fastest are not the ones who succeed the most, but the ones who fail, learn, and apply those lessons immediately. Think about the process you try. You fail, you analyze, you adjust, and then you try again with a sharper strategy. That cycle is how you transform failure into wisdom and wisdom into progress. The key is to look at failure not as a punishment, but as a classroom. Every failure is like a teacher giving you notes, showing you the mistakes on your test, and giving you a chance to correct them. If you ignore those notes, you repeat the same errors and stay stuck. But if you study them, you come back stronger and more prepared than before. Success leaves you with applause, but failure leaves you with instruction. And those instructions, when taken seriously, build resilience, focus, and clarity that no easy victory can ever provide. That's why failure is not just a setback. It's the ultimate guide on your path to greatness. Champions are not defined by how many times they win. They are defined by how many times they are willing to fail and still keep moving forward. The truth is, the people you admire the most have failed more than you can imagine. They have stumbled, they have lost, they have faced rejection after rejection. But what separates them from everyone else is that they never stayed down. Failure did not stop them. It shaped them. It taught them how to adapt, how to adjust, and how to rise with more determination than before. Every setback became a stepping stone. Every mistake became a lesson, and every fall became a reason to climb higher. Champions don't fear failure because they understand that it is part of the process. They know that perfection is not real, but persistence is. While others allow one failure to destroy their confidence, champions allow it to sharpen their focus. They take the pain of falling and turn it into fuel to keep going harder, faster, and stronger. Success is not a straight line. It is a road filled with twists, turns, and obstacles, and only those who refuse to quit will reach the end of it. Champions understand this better than anyone. They embrace failure because they know every rise after a fall builds resilience, discipline, and unshakable confidence. That resilience becomes their secret weapon, the very thing that carries them when their talent alone is not enough. It is not that they are immune to failure. It is that they have mastered the art of using it. And when you learn to use failure the same way When you decide that no fall will keep you down, you begin to live with the mindset of a champion. There is no such thing as the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect opportunity. And waiting for those things, one of the biggest traps that keeps people stuck. Success is never about everything lining up flawlessly. It is about moving forward despite the uncertainty, despite the mistakes, and despite the risk of failure. You learn what works and what doesn't by doing, not by waiting. Trial and error is the real path to growth because each attempt teaches you something new. The first plan might collapse. The second one might fall short. The third one might leave you frustrated. But each time you gain clarity, experience, and wisdom that no amount of preparation could ever give you. Success is built on a foundation of countless small failures that slowly shape you into the person capable of handling victory. If you wait for conditions to be perfect, you will waste years standing still while others are moving, failing, learning, and improving. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones who had the perfect start. They are the ones who started imperfectly but refused to stop. They experimented, they adjusted, they corrected their course, and they kept building. Every misstep gave them the insight to step better next time. That process of failing forward is the secret ingredient that separates dreamers from doers. Perfection is an illusion, but progress is real, and progress only comes when you are willing to try, fail, and try again. The courage to act in the face of uncertainty is what transforms average people into extraordinary ones, because it is not about getting it right the first time. It is about refusing to stop until you finally get it right. There will never be a perfect plan, a flawless strategy, or a moment when everything feels ready. And waiting for that moment is one of the biggest reasons people never reach their full potential. Success doesn't belong to those who sit back hoping for ideal conditions. It belongs to those who move forward even when the path is unclear. Growth is born from trial and error, from putting yourself out there, failing, and learning what needs to change. The first time you try, it might fall apart. The second time, you might still miss the mark. But each attempt gives you valuable information that shapes your next move. Those small lessons add up, and eventually they become the wisdom that leads to victory. Failure is not wasted effort. It's a compass pointing you closer to what works. Every great achievement you see in the world today has a history of missteps, revisions, and adjustments behind it. The people who win big are not the ones who waited for the perfect start. They are the ones who started imperfectly, kept improving along the way. They understood that failure is not a stop sign, it's feedback. When you accept that mistakes are part of the journey, you take pressure off yourself to be flawless, and you free yourself to make progress. Each wrong turn teaches you how to make a better one next time. Success is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about refusing to let setbacks define you and using every failed attempt as a stepping stone to mastery. The courage to act without guarantees, to try without certainty, is what separates those who dream from those who actually live their dreams. Stop chasing perfection and start chasing progress. Every failure is not a setback, but a stepping stone. Every mistake is not the end, but a lesson pushing you closer to your goal. The people who rise to greatness are not the ones who never fall. They are the ones who refuse to stay down, learn, adapt, rise, and keep moving, because the foundation of your success is being built every time you get back up.